In season 1 of the Apple TV show Severance, there's an episode titled The Grim Barbarity of Optics and Design, in which the original characters from the Macrodata Refinement Department on the severed floor of Lumen Industries venture out to explore the severed floor, find answers, and meet other severed employees. In this episode, we see many shots of the characters in the hallways of the severed floor, although one in particular is different from the others. As the show progresses, the viewers go from being in the dark to knowing more than the main characters do. However, the scene I'll be analyzing unites viewers and the characters once again in confusion and uneasiness. In this scene, while exploring the dark hallways of the severed floor, Helly R. and Mark S. stumble upon a brightly lit room containing numerous baby goats and a small farm scene, as well as a man in a suit taking care of them. Is an odd scene and an unexpected sight and serves to bring viewers back into the same position as the characters, making them feel disoriented, bewildered, and unknowing as to why this room is present. In this scene, there is a significant use of dramatic lighting contrast, POV camera perspectives, and differing audio levels to immerse the viewers in the perspectives and feelings of the characters and connect viewers and characters through mutual confusion and discomfort about the situation on the severed floor. The dramatic lighting contrast is the first component that sets the tone of this scene. In most scenes, the rooms and hallways of the severed floor are brightly and evenly lit with fluorescent office lights. However, in this scene, the halls are dark, with the overhead lights casting low-key lighting just overhead of Helly and Mark as they are walking, quickly flicking on and off as the pair walks underneath the light. This lighting progression completely isolates Helly and Mark in the hall and casts a dark shadow on their faces, emphasizing to the audience their feelings of being in the dark about their surroundings. Since we cannot see what is behind them, and the darkness in front of them obscures much of the hallway, we get the feeling that Helly and Mark are isolated here, and the lack of light is meant to obscure something they're not supposed to see. Additionally, in contrast to the shadows and darkness projected onto Helly and Mark's faces in the hall, when the pair opens a door to observe the room with the goats in it, we see their faces become illuminated by key lighting in the room. This illumination symbolizes enlightenment to a new area and curious feature of their workplace. When the viewer first gets to see the inside of the goat room, they see Helly and Mark open the door at the same time and see their illuminated faces. This creates a shared experience between viewer and character of seeing a perplexing view at the same time and identifying with the visible confusion on their faces. Another component of this scene that sets it apart from others and allows viewers to be immersed in the character's world is the use of POV camera perspectives. Two main POV camera shots in this scene are especially effective in immersing the audience in how Helly and Mark feel when making this discovery in the halls. The first of which is a shot that starts as a long shot down the hallway, but moves forward to glance around the corner of the wall and pans down to view the shadow of a baby goat on the wall. This POV is great at putting us in the shoes of Mark and Helly as we are seeing what they're seeing at the exact same time they are, and it's an unanticipated sight for both the viewers and characters. The movement of the camera closely mimics natural head movements and limits what the audience can see. This limitation is in contrast to previous scenes and episodes where the audience gets a wider view and perspective of character interactions and scenes. This choice allows viewers to feel as though they are exploring with Helly and Mark and are equals to them, as viewers know only as much as the characters do in this scene and are just as perplexed about the goats as Helly and Mark are. One final component of this scene that provokes feelings of discomfort and emphasizes the peculiarity of the goat room on the severed floor is the contrast in audio throughout the scene. When we first see Helly and Mark in the scene, the music and sound effects are quiet, and the sound of goats bleating cuts through the silence to startle viewers and capture their curiosity, as it does for Mark and Helly. In later shots, when the man is holding and feeding a goat, he begins to talk loudly in a distressed tone to Helly and Mark. The audio levels of his dialogue is especially loud, and as it is a close-up shot to the man's face, the shot gives the audience more intimacy with his character than they are comfortable with considering the situation. To further unsettle the viewers, the next shot is of the baby goat that the man is holding, screaming and squirming wildly. The audio in this shot is considerably loud and jolts the audience into a panic as the man begins to yell. The audio level in these shots compensates in shock factor for the fact that the audience is not physically there in the scene. Since viewers are not physically present in the room like the characters are, more emphasized effects are necessary to provoke the same level of shock. This quiet to loud contrast in audio compensates for that disconnect and allows the audience to experience the same discomfort as Hallie and Mark would in this scene. This scene overall aims to introduce an element of the plot that is not yet explained and is meant to be an uncomfortable mystery and leave the audience perplexed. This effect is made possible by the cinematographic choices made with the intention of immersing viewers in the scene. The intended confusion and discomfort of viewers is achieved through the combined use of lighting, POV camera angles, and audio contrast to immerse the audience in the scene, and the scene succeeds at emphasizing the eccentric sight on the severed floor.